Presentation.
Down, forward, down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Push. Two's from the right, one to the left. Push.
I'm going to do something like this at the sports business. They'll have the guys in sports like that. When they do their artillery stuff the same way, the infantry guys do the same thing.
That is. Get back. Wait. Sit right there on that right there. Get back, baby. Right there.
Yeah, we're trying to get back involved with them after all the friction between Melissa and anything Confederate. They're going to put, their next project is to put picnic tables out here.
Watch what you say.
I'm recording it. Oh, what you say.
Hey folks, we're about to do another demonstration. If you want to be able to hear, come up here between these two trees. I'll give you a minute to get up here. I'll be narrating the demonstration while they're doing the drill.
Come on up closer to the tree.
6 more maneuvers.
If you're interested in hearing what they've got to say, come on in closer to the tree.
Okay, we're the 7th Tennessee Cavalry Company D. We're originally a West Tennessee outfit that rode in Bedford Forest Cavalry toward the end of his cavalry career, but pretty much stationed in North Mississippi throughout the whole war. Most of our current members, though, North Alabama, Middle Tennessee. We've been at this as a unit since, go ahead, Mark, since 1986. We're one of the older cavalry units in the country. What we're doing now is a demonstration of mounted close order drill. As you can tell, we only have a set of 4s with a sergeant. Generally speaking, if we have full tilt company strength, we'll be running 30 people, and then we'll brigade and battalion with other units. It could have upwards of 1,000. The close order drill, if you notice, every move they make, every turn is commanded. With a bunch of people on the field, if you didn't have bugle calls dictating every move, you'd have mass confusion. It's confusing enough as it is, but notice every time he gives a command, you're hearing a bugle call for it. That's the only way you could, a large body of men could be cohesive, is if every maneuver is commanded. And what they're going to do is just for the next minute or two, do some close order drills, change of directions. Yeah, bring them back. Anyway, that's what they're demonstrating. Now they're going into a mounted skirmish order. Notice there's intervals between each horse. They're going to be drawing pistols. All right, the purpose of this, imagine beyond them woods there's a force. You do not know how many are in the enemy force out there. So they would send a cavalry unit basically is to feel them out and to see. And that's what they're representing now. They're in intervals, so that way one cannon shot won't take them all out. Now say that force was out there and greater than ours, we'd retreat. Or say we were greater than them, we'd keep advancing and run them off. But they're obviously retreating, so they must have run into a pretty good infantry line. Now what they're about to do is dismount and fight on foot. Contrary to movies and popular conceptions,
Prepare to fight!
most cavalry fighting was on foot because it's more effective. You know, with a horse spinning underneath you, you're not going to make a good rifle shot. And plus, horses are huge targets. They're 10 foot tall and 8 foot wide. So it's easy to kill. What they would do is dismount, and if you notice, each horse has a link strap. I've got one on my horse too. One guy's holding 3 horses all linked together. In real life, he might have been a mile behind the line. The horses are being a gully in a safe area. But here, for demonstration purposes, we're collapsing the distance. Notice, just like mounted, they're out there in the intervals. They're not shoulder to shoulder. The threat's unknown, and if they're greater than the threat, they'll run the threat off. If the threat's greater than them, they will in turn be run off. But this will be a dismounted skirmish line. Nothing's really urgent about it. You're not being attacked. It's more of a reconnoitering thing. And that was cavalry's job. Nothing fast about it. A unit could go all day in the field like that, protecting a flank. And it's tiring, boring work. At this time also, this is when cavalry units are at their most vulnerable. Notice one guy's holding 3 horses. Say another cavalry unit comes out of the woods, you know, they got him dead to rights. And that happened a lot in the war. Your horse holders will get stampeded or attacked, and that means your whole unit's dismounted as of that moment. It happened to Forrest at Bryce's Crossroads, happened to Wheeler a couple times too. One thing to take note of, I'm going to show you the guns up close in a second. All 4 of them are carrying a different type long arm. And in some units that was common during the war in the South. He's about to remount them. That's another time when you could be got quickly. Remount. Remount. What happened, Mom? Okay, since we got everybody remounted, we're going to go over guns, saddlery, and other things. I'm going to briefly do it. And our bugler is going to have a little talk telling you about the how and why of a trumpeter. Sergeant. Okay, everybody get your carbines and long arms out. What I'm going to do is have them right in front of y'all displaying them. The sergeant, who has hit himself in the nose with his.
Like pot leaf just a minute ago.
All right, keep moving, Mark. That's a British Enfield carbine. It's a cavalry carbine. Low numbers of them were imported north and south, but that is a good representation of one. It's a reproduction. 58 caliber muzzle. All right, Jim. The private here is carrying a 1863 model Sharps. It is a breech loader. On the back of a horse, it's a lot easier to load. And even on the ground, it's a lot easier to load. You don't have to ram nothing. You just shove a cartridge in the back, shut the breech, put a percussion cap on the cone, ready to fire. Ready to fire about 5 or 6 rounds per minute. The next trooper coming is carrying the 1841 U.S. rifle, or known as the Mississippi. That was a common gun in Confederate cavalry. Notice it's longer, a little bit harder to load mounted, but it's very effective gun on the ground. Next trooper is carrying the model 1863 Maynard, the second model. It shot a metallic cartridge, easy to load, and the thing is about as light as a pistol, but don't let the size fool you. That's a very accurate weapon. It is issued to sharpshooters even in infantry units, but it's a great cavalry carbine. Handgun wise, come on, Sergeant. Sergeant's carrying an 1851 Navy Colt. That was the mainstay revolver for Confederate cavalry. 36 caliber, 6 shot. A favorite. Jim is carrying a kind of a Confederate pseudo copy of the 1858 Remington, a 44 caliber gun, very durable, a lot better than the Colt in my opinion. Next trooper is carrying a 36 caliber Whitney revolver. It's probably the fourth most common revolver in Civil War service. Real durable, good weapon. I'm carrying one that was not an issue gun, but it was privately purchased both north and south. It's a model 1862 police gun. It's a 5-shot gun. It was the Glock of the 19th century, hence the police model. You could carry it in a big pocket, but it was being light, that's why I like it. As you get older doing this, the less weight that you can carry around, the better. Okay, Gene is carrying the mainstay of the Union forces, the 1860 Army, 6-shot, 44 caliber Colt. Real reliable, hard hitting. Okay, saddlery. The sergeant is in a Columbus Depot cloth-covered McClellan. If you notice, it's like a federal McClellan, which you will see later, but it's covered in enamel-painted cloth. In other words, it was a cheap piece of crap. Troopers hated them. But that's what they, their resources run out, and they had to issue something. Private here is in a 59 McClellan. Notice the headgear, the saddlery. His saddlebags are a civilian pattern, but everything else is straight up federal. Notice how it's all dyed nice and black, a lot of buckles, a lot of straps. They had more resources and they come up with a really good product. The saddle is still in use today in Arlington National Cemetery. Trooper here is riding an Atlanta Arsenal Texas saddle. Toward the end of the war, a lot of the depots and arsenals started making horned saddles because the troops liked them. That's what they rode with from home. Hence mine. My total rig I'm in is like a civilian rig a guy would have brought from home. The saddle is called an Attakapaw, named after a parish in Louisiana. Headgear, it's a civilian halter bridle. The bit is probably worth more than the horse and the saddle. It's about a $2,000 bit. It's original 1860 British cavalry bit, like it would have been imported to the South. Most of us build our own saddlery, and we have one trooper that's about to come do a presentation that is an expert on uniforms and cloth. Right now, our trumpeter is going to come up and tell you the hows and whys of buglers.
Hey, the cavalry, well actually all the army, they use musical instruments to relay messages. They didn't have radios back then. They couldn't really use signal flags for that. It wasn't practical. So by playing certain tunes, it was the same. Each tune corresponded to a different command. Infantry used fifes and drums because the fifes were real high pitched, would carry over